You ever feel like nothing good was ever gonna happen to you? I don't wanna just survive. It says in these movie writing books that every character has an arc. You understand? Like everybody starts out somewheres, and they do something, something gets done to them, changes their life. That's called their arc. Where's my arc?
I hear the clock ticking. That's what I hear, and the end is nigh, and time waits for no man. Life goes by, and it goes by quick. Don't waste those years. Don't waste them. Live them.
Don't waste your time. Do you know that everybody alive gets exactly the same amount of time? It's what we do with it that makes the difference. Don't waste your life.
I don't blame them. But don't be mad when you're laying there in your bed and you're in the hospital and you're 70, 80, 90 years old and you're thinking, man, I feel like I didn't do something. Because you did. You didn't do it. You didn't do shit. You may have lived a great life, man, but you're always gonna feel empty inside. I was honest. Look at yourself, man. Look at yourself. And it was that day I just got real with myself, and every day I came home, I called it the accountability mirror. What am I gonna do today to change what I see in this mirror?
Get control. Stop scrolling, stop clicking, and start living.
And today, I'm no longer being a loser. Today, I'm gonna change my path. I'm gonna get on the path of success. I don't care how long that road is. I'm gonna see it through no matter what, because you know what? I've been living enough years in this hole, and I don't wanna be here anymore.
A simple truth in life is things are not gonna go your way. Things are not gonna work out the way you planned. Things are not going to be the way that you wanted them to be.
I would recommend you use the resources you have to create the life you want. And so if the cards that you have dealt right now are anger and fear and disappointment, then you can either wallow in those or you can turn something good out of it. And so, I mean, I love the saying, you can either let life beat the strength out of you or you can let it beat it into you. And so it's just a decision of whether these circumstances are going to serve me or I'm going to serve them. And so I think that whatever your raw materials are, a lot of people lament what cards they're dealt, but you don't have control over those cards. You only have control of how you play the hand. And so I think everyone just needs to move past that and, you know, stop the pissing contest on who had a sadder upbringing.
You cannot take any more time for granted. You don't know how much longer you're gonna be here. You can do great things. It's all just a matter of, will you choose to blossom into the greatness that is within you?
Create a life that you can't wait to wake up to.
I saw that.
I live that life. I hate to sleep. I love every minute of my life.
What would you say the most consistent trait amongst successful people you can do?
Consistency. Like, consistency doesn't guarantee that you're successful, but if you're not consistent, you can guarantee that you won't reach success. Like, every single fucking time.
And now here's my last question. My very last question on the questions to ponder is, why not now? There never was a better time. And what a time now for us to take this dream and not let it die. Take this dream and give it life. Take this dream and breathe into it your own personal spirit until finally it becomes a flame that burns around the whole world. Let's go do it now.
It's like, how far could you take that if you stopped wasting time and if you stopped lying and if you oriented yourself to the highest possible good that you could conceive of and you committed to that? How much good could you do? Well, I would say, why don't you find out?
Because everybody believes that at some point in time, they're going to turn it on, or some point in time, they're going to catch momentum, or some point in time, they're going to become what it is they want to become just by circumstance or by default or by breathing the air. That's not what it takes, bro. People who think that get to the end of their life and they're like, I wasted my life. Okay, that's what they end up thinking. And there's really nothing worse than that. There's nothing worse than getting to the end of your life and saying, damn, dude, I didn't even really try.
You don't have forever, right? So what is important to you? Because you only have 24 hours in a day. So what's important to you? Find out what the what that is and do more of that. And try to figure out like how to make enough money so that you're not starving, that you're doing well. But don't just chase that. Chase what you're trying to do.
A person's strengths are often their biggest weaknesses. And so that also means that their weaknesses can be their strengths. So, me, I am weak, but I don't accept that. I don't accept that I am what I am and that is what I'm doomed to be. No, I don't accept that. I'm fighting. I'm always fighting. I'm struggling and I'm scrapping and I'm kicking and clawing at those weaknesses to change them, to stop them. Some days I win. Some days I don't. But each and every day, I get back up and I move forward with my fists clenched toward the battle, toward the struggle. And I fight with everything I've got to overcome those weaknesses and those shortfalls and those flaws, as I strive to be just a little bit better today than I was yesterday.
Where is the wealthiest place in the world? Do you know? It's not China, it's not Dubai, it's the graveyard. Because in the graveyard, you will find inventions never invented, businesses never erected, songs never sung, books never written, ideas never nurtured, people never realized, because they were scared to take a risk. Scared like you. But you want to know something else? You're not in a graveyard yet.
That's the thing. Success and failure are generally slow processes. Either slowly building things up or gradually tearing them down. And that's why I say you've got to pay attention. You have to watch. You have to watch every single second. Because those seconds, they turn into minutes. And minutes turn into hours, and hours turn into days, and days turn into years. And so, that second that just went by, that counted. And so did that second. And so did that one. And in those precious seconds, you were either building or you were decaying. You were either gaining ground or you were losing ground. In that second. And in every second. Every second counts. So, make every second count.
If somebody ever told you you only live once, they a damn lie. You only die once. You live every day. Get up and get it.
Helen Keller was once asked, what on earth will be worse than being born blind? She said, it would be so much worse to be born with sight, but no vision. Why can't we have cures for every disease known to man? Why can't we have clean water, food, education for every person on this planet? Why can't we have peace on this planet? Why do we have to die to go to heaven? The earth is already in space. We can have heaven right here, right now. Just a shift in this. Why not?
It tests you.
It tests you and see how much of this you can take before you say, let's just be finished with this. You know what I mean? It wants to show you something. It wants to see how much you can take, how much you can handle of life. You say you love life, you want to live life. I'm going to show you life. Life is beautiful, but you have to accept the good and the bad as being beautiful. We lose somebody, our life sucks. Life is beautiful because life gave us the ability to just know them on our journey in life. We met them. We loved them. We cared about them. They cared about us. That's the purpose of life, just to enjoy what we had while we journeyed through it.
People don't care about you as much as you think they do. Massive amounts of people leave greatness inside of them out of fear of what others will think. You know, and I did that for a very long time. It took me a while to get to the point where I would put myself out there, all out of fear of what people think.
When you come out of the storm, you won't be the same person that walked into it. That's what the storm is all about. When you can't control what's happening to you, control how you respond to it. That's where your power is.
This is why thinking is so vital. This is why a goal is so important. Because we will become that. This is why people who set goals achieve them. The trouble with men is not in achieving their goals. They do that. It's in establishing them. Well, that's about it. I think it's good to remember that if we just go along with the crowd, we won't wind up with much more than the wish that we could do it all over again, and as far as we know, you can't. If we want to amount to anything as individuals, we need individual goals, individual thinking, individual actions, and we must never conform to the big group. We must love them, we must help them, we must serve them, because our whole success will depend on our ability to do these things.
Because sometimes we don't understand, like, what is this thing? What is my purpose? Why am I here? Why do I have to go through this pain? Why do I have to go through this fear all the time? Why can't it just be peaceful all the time? Then it wouldn't be life. You know, it wouldn't be life. We have to take life at its term, life on life terms, not life on our terms.
Chances, it's important that I stand up here tonight and represent those that are looking for second chances. You can be this guy, you can change, you can turn it around. I promise you can, baby. I once heard a man say that you don't change until the pain to remain the same is greater than the pain it takes to change, and that's what it takes. I love you, Texas.
Don't underestimate the hole your absence would leave. You know, each of us, we're remarkable creatures, and we have something to offer to the world, to the people we love, to the world at large. It's our responsibility to make that manifest, and we move a little farther away from paradise every time that doesn't happen. Really.
Hey man, you know what, Sposh? I just feel good today.
You always have to feel good. I mean, why waste your life in sadness when you can enjoy a life of happiness? I want to inspire the world. I can't just sit there and mourn at my fractures and my disability and be like, oh man, see those dudes? They're doing so good. I was never like that.
Come on, man.
See, the thing about life, we're gonna die, right? Eventually we're gonna die. But our legacy can live on. The impact can be non-perishable, forever. But it's gotta be built right.
They're gonna speak, we don't live forever. Our legacy does. We're gonna make sure that's solid.
Again, you only live once. But if you work it right, once is enough, my friends.
You know, if your time comes when your time comes, you can't control that.
At some point, everything's gonna go south on you. Everything's gonna go south, and you're gonna say, this is it. This is how I end. Now, you can either accept that, or you can get to work. That's all it is. You just begin.
And your brain is the most powerful weapon. I talk about that in one of these chapters. Your brain is the most powerful weapon in the world. Once you put away your phones and your computers and all that shit you have nowadays, yeah, that's great. We're up to date. Your brain is the only thing you have when you're going through depression, when you're going through hard times, when you're going through death, real life shit. You can't Google that shit, man. You're alone. You're alone. You may have a shrink you're going to, you may have a best friend you're going to, but there's 24 hours in the day where you're alone in this brain. and your brain is talking to you in all kind of ways, and it wants to control you and pull you in these different pockets. If you can't control your own brain and your brain controls you, you're f***ed. You got to tell your brain where you want to go and how you want to go and how you want to get there. You got to control it. If not, it's over.
It makes me think about when it says, don't be pushed by your problems, be led by your dreams.
You're not going to score on every shot.
Right.
Doesn't mean you shouldn't take the shots. Doesn't mean you shouldn't try to hit the goal. But part of being able to continue to take shots is to have the strength of character to tolerate the fact that in that instance you weren't on top.
I know why you hate me. You hate me because you're probably in the bed right now. You're probably an underachiever. You're probably somebody who doesn't want to do anything with your life. So I make you question everything about yourself. So I'm going to continue making you question yourself by coming out here and being even more successful.
You got to start believing in your imagination. You want a better life, correct? Haven't you imagined a better life? Okay, who you think he showed it to? He showed it to you. Why you think he showed it to you? Because he want to give it to you. But if you don't work, if you don't ask him for it, he cannot give it to you because he created us with the power of choice. We make choices every day. If you decide that you will be poor, there's nothing I can do. You're gonna be poor. If you decide to be rich today, who gonna stop you? Who? If you decide you want to be rich, all you gotta do is start. Why not? Who gonna stop you?
It feels like we have such a long way to go.
I know. But look how far we've come.
I just don't think I can do this. I'm never going to find a home.
You know, sometimes your mind plays tricks on you. It can tell you you're no good, that it's all hopeless. But I've discovered this. You are loved and important, and you bring to this world things that no one else can. So hold on.
I come from hell, and a lot of it I created. We can be our worst enemy.
Why is the truth so important?
It gives you a starting point. You have to have the truth to have a starting point. Once you come face to face with who you are, you have a starting point. And your true self is found, honestly, in that very uncomfortable zone. We all look for toughness. We all want it, but we look for it in a comfortable environment. You will not find toughness in a comfortable environment. Those of you who are listening to this, you will not find it. I was trying to look for it everywhere. The only way you find it is to drown yourself in a position where you're just out of sorts, where you can't swim and you're drowning. Where you're drowning. You're drowning in life. But you say, you know what, man? That.
Life. What is life? What the is your life? Are you happy with it? And if so, is just the intake and outtake of breath that makes you put a smile on your face? That's something your mother gave you. You haven't earned that. What have you done with your life to make it something else besides the normality of everybody else? The intake and the outtake of what you call life is nothing more than time. And unless done something with, it's forgotten about. There's no footprint of your existence left for anyone else to follow. Life is time. And a life that's remembered, where a footprint is followed behind in footsteps of inspiration and motivation, is when time is met with opportunity and action. They collide to be a life of remembrance. The problem is, most people don't have a plan. And without a plan of your own life, you become the plan of someone else's life. You're not running the day. The day's running you. The differential between those people is belief. One person with belief overrides 100 people with just intent. Intent is thought process, thinking, wargaming it, never putting a foot forward, never putting their face or their name to the fire. Belief is going after and figuring it out along the way. This workout is going to bring that belief back in your life. It's a back workout. And after this workout, not only will you have a stronger back, you have belief and confidence put into action. Life. No longer is your life filled with stop signs, yield signs, and halts and this shit. And life begins now. If it doesn't begin now, your life is over.
And you don't need reminded of it, but I'm gonna remind you, anyhow, life is hard. Okay, fellas, life is hard. It's always been hard from the beginning, and it will always be hard.
No, you have to hit rock bottom. That's the way up. Yeah, rock bottom is beautiful. The struggle of coming back is beautiful. That struggle. It doesn't appear like it's beautiful while you're going through it, but it's just being tested. And without a test, there's no testimony. Life tests you. Sometimes life annihilates you. But it's only up to you if you want to take some more. It's going to dish it out. But eventually, if you don't quit, it'll be merciful to you.
If you can get a mental image of the person you would most like to become, begin now to act as that person would act in everything you do. Gradually, imperceptibly, you will actually become that person. It goes back to what the great German poet and philosopher Goethe once said. Before you can do something, you must first be something. Before you can do what you would most like to do, you must first become the person who can do it. A woman cooking dinner has only to act like a great chef to turn out a better meal. The student who begins to act like a top student will begin to get better grades. You can even look much better by simply acting like the person you would most like to look like and be like.
Stop waiting for life to be easy. Stop hoping for somebody to save you. You don't need another person lying to you. Things don't all add up. But you're resilient. Face some hard facts and you could have an incredible life.
If you guys don't start believing in yourselves, your life will be nothing for anyone to ever follow or want. You have to believe what you're doing is making a difference. Because it is.
Here's the deal. No complacency. No complacency. No backing off. No slack whatsoever. Fight. Fight that ticking clock with everything you got. So, like the end of a hard day, you can put your head down with ease. Satisfied that you've given your best.
Failure is not the opposite of success, it's a part of it. Right? Failure is not the opposite of success, it's a part of it. And the reason that I'm saying that is because when it says don't be pushed by your problems, problems are a part of the journey. Opposition are a part of the journey, right? Adversity is a part of the journey. Like it's all a part of development and growth as a person. And so when you got dreams and you got problems, I look at it as it's interconnected, right? You got your dream, you got your goal, you got your aspirations. Problems are gonna happen along the way. Conflict is gonna happen along the way. Uncertainty is gonna happen along the way. But the thing that's important is putting things in place to fight it.
But you know what I discovered? When you're working at your dream, somebody said the harder the battle, the sweeter the victory. Oh, it's sweet to you. It's good to you. Why? See, when it's hard and there's a struggle, see, what you become in the process is more important than the dream. That's far more important. The kind of person you become, the character that you build, the courage that you develop, the faith that you're manifesting. Oh, it's something that you get up in the morning, you look yourself in the mirror, you're a different kind of person. You walk with a different kind of spirit. And people know that you know what life is, that you have embraced life. You knew it was hard, but you did it hard.
Don't waste your damn life. And then you think, well, why would people be resistant to that message? It's like, well, You really want to wake up and figure out that you're wasting half your life?
But what does losing feel like to you?
It's exciting.
Why is it exciting?
Because it means you have different ways to get better. There's certain things that you can figure out, that you can take advantage of, right? Certain weaknesses that were exposed, that you need to shore up, right? So it was exciting. I mean, it sucks to lose.
Right.
But at the same time, there are answers there.
Because we forget we are in control of our mind. We believe it's the other way around. No, we put in our minds what we should do, but we believe our mind is telling us, it's giving us all this feedback. We have to reprogram it and tell us, no, we're good. We're good, this sucks, but it's okay.
The easiest thing in the world to do is to complain, blame, and quit and settle. That's the easiest thing in the world to do. But it takes real work to deconstruct and to reconstruct the thought process and the mindset of an individual when they're trying to change something. That's why I always say to people, what's more important, what we acquire or who we become?
You're not where you want to be. You feel like you're supposed to be somewhere else. You said it. Well, say you could snap your fingers and be wherever you wanted to be. I bet you'd still feel this way, not in the right place. The point is, you can't get so hung up on where you'd rather be that you forget how to make the most of where you are.
What are you telling me?
Take a break from worrying about what you can't control. Live a little. Live a little.
You got 24 hours in a day. 8 hours you sleep, right? And most people work a 9 to 5. So 8 hours you working.
16 hours.
Okay, so we had 16 hours. We got breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So we had 19? It take you an hour to get ready. So we had 20 hours. So you guys cannot spend 4 hours going talking about, oh, they lying, oh, I like this photo. Oh, they faking, sending photos to other people. Y'all got to get focused. I'm where I'm at because I'm focused. Tunnel vision. I'm focused on what I got to do. Y'all got to have a game plan.
The feeling I feel right now, as bad as it feels, is a hell of a lot better feeling than a life where you throw the towel in. That's something you never recover from. Tomorrow morning, I'll wake up stronger. I'll feel alive. And I'll have the belief and confidence backing me up. After a good night's rest, I can only get better. When the towel's down in life, there's no more rounds, man. You threw it in. I feel like shit right now, but I can pick the towel back up. And I'm gonna be stronger tomorrow, the next round. Life, guys, it's a plan of action. If you don't have the plan, I guarantee you someone's gonna use you as part of their fucking plan. Stop going about the day as a servant. Become the master. Run your day and stop having it run you. Believe in yourself. Be that one of 100 that has a belief instead of just jaw-jack talk of intent. Huge differential there. Differential is somebody just breathing life and the other one taking the most of the opportunity of time of life. Remembrance. Otherwise, forgotten.
What do you think is the biggest stumbling block that most people face with this kind of journey?
Honestly, is they have the woe is me mentality. It's too hard. Life isn't fair. These things in life are not easy for me. You look to your left and you look to your right and you start to judge yourself off other people. Like, if you're a female, well, she's skinny and she doesn't work out as hard as I do, and everything starts to corrupt your mind. You start to look around too much at other people and what they're doing, and that starts to corrupt your own dialogue. We are judging ourselves against too many people. You have to judge yourself against yourself. And that's the one thing I started learning, man. This is a race against David Goggins and David Goggins alone. And once you can silence all that bullshit, all the outside interference and things that are attracting your mind to everything, you can then start to grow in realizing I'm stressed out for no reason. This is my own little race. This is my own timeline, and this is how I'm going to run it.
It's all in your mind. Whatever you hold in your mind will tend to occur in your life. If you continue to believe as you have always believed, you will continue to act as you have always acted. You will continue to get what you have always gotten. If you want different results in your life or your work, all you have to do is change your mind.
You ever had a gut feeling that maybe you were meant for more, but you weren't really sure what the next best steps were to achieve it? Me too. So what's your more? What's your destination? And I'm not talking about just more money or more things. I'm also talking about more love, more joy, more choice, more balance, more trust. What's your more?
It would line up to be perfect for them, and because they're waiting for this and because it's never coming, they never go, and when they never go, they never become anything, and that's what leads to a wasted life. So you have to realize conditions are never going to be perfect. Things are always going to be hard. The only hope that you have is to become someone who can push through that hard regardless of what the is going on. And if you can build that level of discipline, that level of mental toughness to execute when things are not ideal, when things are extremely hard, nothing can stop you on your journey to becoming whatever it is you're trying to become. Nothing, absolutely nothing.
Like, life is very difficult, and in order to thrive with this difficult life, if an opportunity is presented to you, you shouldn't be so arrogant that you dismiss it. And it's really easy to be arrogant, especially if you're smart, because you think, well, I'm smarter than everybody else. It's like, actually, no. There's lots of people that are a lot smarter than you. You just haven't met them yet.
I want to inspire, I want to motivate, I want to show people that there is a way out, that there is a way to do more, to get more, to obtain more. But I personally don't want to lose all that I've been able to get. So I need to make sure that I do everything to keep it. So I can't be content. So there is an understanding, but I refuse to click on the switch of,
So even if you have more money than you'll ever spend for the rest of your life, that's not what it's about.
No.
It's about the inspiring people and the influence and constantly giving back and moving forward in a positive way. And the only way you can do that is to stay active.
It's the story, man.
Hey, dog, you do realize that this could be the year that you change your life if you just lock in? A whole 365 days ago, day in and day out towards your goals with no distractions. We ain't hearing the excuses no more. Your future is tied to that. 2024 should be an apology toward all the BS that you did last year. Lock in and change your life. Like your life depends on it. Because it do.
Can you admit something in your life that you don't feel like you deserve or have earned? Can you admit a goal or a dream that you want to chase, but you're feeling like, nah, I can't fly that high. I'm not equipped. I don't really have the ability. I'm not qualified. Can you admit something in your life that guilt is keeping you from getting? Can you admit something that you don't want to start, continue, or finish because you're afraid to? Say it aloud to yourself. Write it down. Confess. Admit it.
Everybody judges by success of money or business accomplishments or games you won and things like that. The true measure of success is how happy are you? If you get up every day and you're really happy and you really do enjoy and love your life and you love you're surrounded by people you love doing it with, you could not be more successful.
Look, I think failure has to be quantified. If you fail that you never can get up from it again, that's not a good failure. I think failure and adversity are the two things I think about. For me, as an entrepreneur and very entrepreneurial and always in my own stuff, all the failures along the way, even going back to like the baseball card show when I was 13 that I paid $400 for a table and nobody showed up to that baseball card show. That was a learning lesson. Those micro failures were super, super important. I think, it depends on your stomach, right? Like if you really fail, like go out of business, I think people take one of two ways, right? They're like just finished and they're never able to get off the mat and they go in a different direction. So to me, I think quantifying the failure is important to me.
My mom is 84 years old and she's at home watching. Mom, I just want an Oscar. My journey started on a boat. I spent a year in a refugee camp. And somehow, I ended up here on Hollywood's biggest stage. They say stories like this only happen in the movies. I cannot believe it's happening to me. This is the American dream. Dreams are something you have to believe in. I almost gave up on mine. To all of you out there, please keep your dreams alive.
Will you go looking for her? She's in the past. The past is not my concern.
There's this thing about people, and they talk about manifesting. It's f***ing real, man. Manifesting is real. When you figure out who you are and what you want to do, and you devote your life to it like a maniac, like you're all in on this thing, and you manifest, most of these people end up, doing what they say they're going to do and being who they say they're going to become. And there's no excuses, there's no days off, there's no, not willing to grind and, everybody's against me and this didn't happen for me because of this and that and all this whining, puss-ass bullshit that a lot of people do these days. It's these people who dive in and they're hardcore and they're focused and they know what they want, they know who they are, and they lay out these short-term goals and this roadmap on how to get there. Most of those people make it.
It haunted me.
Okay.
The voice in my head said, you know what, man? You're gonna die never even trying to reach your full potential. And how's that gonna feel? I'm gonna be haunted by the mere fact that I literally that's what I was.
Wasted that life.
That's what I was, man.
And you look back and here lies David Goggins, a punk.
That's it. Right. And I get to live, so whatever heaven or hell is, you're in hell the rest of your life.
So if you lose and you jump right back up and you haven't really changed, really changed from that loss, you're never going to learn from it, and you're never going to really, truly know the unforgiving race to greatness, because that's part of the unforgiving part, is the losing part. That part is unforgiving. It's what's really inside of them. So what they're seeing, when they look in the mirror, they're just trying to see what's on the surface. But winning and losing wants to know what's inside of you. It wants to know what makes you tick. It wants to know what your desires are. It wants to know what your ego is. It wants to know what your limitations are. It wants to know what your mindset is. It wants to know everything about you, because winning does not lie. When you look in the mirror, you can lie and see what's on the surface. You cannot lie what's going on inside. And that's what people are not willing to see. The lies that are truly going on inside of them that are not allowing them to win over and over, or sometimes even win once. Your mind has to be stronger than your feelings. Your mind has to be stronger than your feelings. Think about every poor decision you've made in your life. Gosh. There was more emotion that was involved in it than there was mind. Every single one of them. Think about it. Really was. Your feelings keep you in bed. Your mind tells you, get up.
Whenever I get to a low point where I think, why do I even bother? I just remind myself, this is where most people stop, and this is why they don't win. And this relates to another one, which is a reminder for the gladiators in the arena who feel beat up and scarred with no hope in sight. Building a business is hard. Hard feels shitty. This is what hard feels like. And this is why most people can't do it. But you can.
Maybe I should just quit and go back to making noodles.
Quit, don't quit. Noodles, don't noodles. You are too concerned with what was and what will be. There's a saying. Yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery, but today is a gift. That is why it is called the present.
Because if I just think, well, tomorrow I'm just going to coast and eat Twinkies and watch TV. Oh, hello, sadness, my old friend. Hello, depression. Because when you're not doing anything, you feel like shit. And that's just a part of being a human being. And we can pretend that we're something other than what we really are. And we can pretend, nah, me, man, I'm just cool, just chilling, doing nothing. Bullshit. You're a fucking human. You're a human being. You evolved from the hundreds of thousands of years of hunters and gatherers and people that were struggling. Those human reward systems are carved deeply into your DNA. And if you don't respect that, if you don't respect the mechanism of happiness and fulfillment and what you really need to do in order to feel satisfied in life, camaraderie, struggle, testing yourself, learning, all those things are imperative. They're all a giant part of being a person.
What's the biggest mistake that you've made in your life that you can share, with people?
Same mistake that all four of us made. Trust.
It's a fact.
Trust. Every morning I get up in the mirror and I say to myself, when I'm brushing my teeth, I say, you know what? The only person I can trust is that person right there. Because we all know we can trust ourselves. But we always know somebody else is always gonna let us down. It's 1 a.m. I'm going for my third workout. Do I want to go to the gym? Absolutely not. I'd rather, lay in my house and sit in the movie theater and watch movies. But, to be the best, you got to work overtime. To be the best, you got to work overtime.
Looks like the winds are changing.
Change is good.
Yeah, but it's not easy. I know what I have to do, but going back means I'll have to face my past. I've been running from it for so long. Ow! Jeez, what was that for?
It doesn't matter. It's in the past.
Yeah, but it still hurts.
Oh, yes, the past can hurt. But the way I see it, you can either run from it or learn from it. You see?
At some point in your life, after many breakups, after you realize we all pay taxes, after you realize you're not always going to be the one chosen for promotion, you're going to be passed up on promotion sometime. A guy that's lazier just because they're related to the mother of the business or the CEO of the business is going to get the promotion over you, and that pisses you off because you stayed up every night till 10 o'clock and that schmuck gets the promotion over you just because his last name is Johnson and yours is not. And you can never compete with that kid. Then you start realizing, saying, listen, man, this passion stuff, I'm sorry. I work a lot harder than the other guy. Why does he deserve it? You start kind of getting a little bit of this. And about 30 to 40 years old, you sit there and say, maybe I need to start making some logical decisions as well.
I think to myself, man, I'm afraid of doing this. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm afraid of what this person's going to think about me. Because if I were to be able to fail in quiet, in complete isolation, then I wouldn't care. And then I think, well, what if I don't succeed in public? What do they think then? Nothing. Right? They don't think about me at all. And so obviously that comes from the perspective of seeking to gain approval and attention from others anyway. So it's like, listen, if you're insecure, which everybody is, let's be real, you might as well use the insecurity to get something out of it. And so a lot of people think that they need to fix their conditions in order to get like the perfect conditions before they start. But the perfect condition is whatever one you're in, because it gives you whatever assets you have. That's the cards that you're dealt. And so you just play the hand. And a lot of people have great cards. It's like, man, I'm so afraid of, it's like, use it. It's like, I have nothing. It makes you very dangerous because you have nothing to lose, right? Like one of the really interesting things about, I think about it from a business perspective, but it probably applies to everything, is that there's always an advantage and a disadvantage from every position. I was like, there's always a position and there's always an advantage. I was like, you just have to play the one you've got. And most people just look at what everyone else's advantage is and don't think, which one do I have?
When you're talking about it's not you that's afraid of failing.
Yeah.
You're afraid of other people's opinions about why you're going to fail.
There's going to be things in your life that you don't have control over. You know, like for instance, someone gets a terrible disease, and or their kids gets a terrible disease. And no, there's nothing you can do about that. What you can take ownership of is how you respond to that situation. And so that's what you have to do. There's things that you can control. There's things you can't control. Now, I will tell you that human beings can control a lot more than they think they can. And oftentimes, it's pretty easy just to say, oh, that's not me. That's not on me. And I think that's the whole genesis of the idea of extreme ownership is most of the time, or much of the time, people say that's not my fault. There's nothing I can do about that. And more often than people think, there is something you can do about it. And it is your fault.
So when I win, it's awesome. It's always great to win. Winning is a great feeling in business, in sports, in life. There's going to be wins and there's going to be losses. And you have to take them both in stride, and you have to be able to, you know what I mean? These are all part of being in the game. When you're in the game, great things happen and really bad things happen. And you got to take it all in stride. And you got to pick yourself up the next day, strap your shoes back on, and get out there and go to war again.
F your tired body, that unmotivated mind, and get out there and do it anyway. You know, you better fight yourself, because you're not only winning when things are going your way. You got to figure out how to win when things aren't going your way. You got to figure out when your body's fighting you, when your mind's fighting you. How do you still, you know, just say, F it, I'm gonna beat my mind today? Or do you just give in to your mind and say, oh, I'm tired today, I'm lazy, I don't want to do it, it's too hard, no one else is doing it, it's a weekend, it's too late, these are already off hours, oh, exactly what I want isn't happening right now. Like, okay, great. You know who that's great for? Your competition. You want that attitude to permeate the people that you're competing against. You want them to give in to their mind. You want them to say, oh, it's too hard, I can't do it. But you want to be the one that says, fuck, I'm going to do it anyway. I know I don't feel good today, but I'm going to go out there and I'm going to prove to myself that even on days that it doesn't feel right, I push myself. The only way to gain confidence in yourself is to build something. It's not to wait for it to happen. Hey, Vic, your life just happened in front of you. Just show up today and make it happen with Tom. No, you had to do a lot of shit today to get to this day that no one really knows except you. So that's why you appreciate it, because you had to go through a lot of stuff to get to this day. Now only you know what it took to get here, and that's why you value it.
Hey, look, a whole new year, a whole 365 days to make this joint right. Me and you both know you didn't stick to the script last year, but it's okay though, because this year we come for everything that we lost and more. This gonna be your year if you act right. You're the only one that can make it right, but you're also the only person that can mess it up. The pressure on your shoulders, but you gotta embrace it. And if you lock in at the end of the year, you can look yourself in the mirror and say, I'm proud. That's real motion.
But is it so bad that a person has millions of dollars in the bank? Is it so bad that a person has 2 of the top books in the world, popular list of all time? Is it bad that a person's broke all kind of records? Is it bad that a person's been to Navy SEAL, Army Ranger, gone to Delta Force training, gone to Air Force, smoke jumper? Is that bad? Is that bad that by 47 years old you're trying to find what to do next? Is that so bad? Because you've done everything in the world, because the second you thought about it, you did it? If that's bad, I don't want to see what good is. So why it's bad to most people? Because it looks exhausting, and it is exhausting. And that's why it's bad to most people. Most things that are bad to people is because they can project what the it takes to get there.
The whole world is in chess. Any move can be the death of you. Do anything except remain where you started, and you can't be sure of your end. None of us know our end, really, or what hand will guide us there. Remember that howsoever you are played, or by whom, your soul is in your keeping alone.
Life is not easy. It is not. Don't try to make it that way. Life's not fair. It never was. It isn't now, and it won't ever be. Do not fall into the trap, the entitlement trap, of feeling like you're a victim. You are not. Get over it, get on with it. And yes, most things are more rewarding when you break a sweat to get them.
Best advice you ever received?
A man named Rich told me
once in Diamond Bar. We're in a meeting and we're looking at everybody, and we're in this backyard. And I'm in the corner, I'm looking at everybody. Everybody's having dinner and there are these tables, and I pull Rich aside. I said, Rich, give me the one best advice. And he starts, I said, no, I said, I want one above everything. And he said, look at everybody here. They're all gonna read just a few books and learn a few quotes, few titles, few stories to tell from the books they read. And once they make 100, $250,000, they're gonna slow down. He said, if you keep out improving these guys consistently, eventually none of these guys will be your competitors. And he was absolutely right. So I came back, I took self-improvement to a whole different level based on what he told me. And it became an obsession. And I noticed, you know what, he was right.
You can't drive your car looking in the rearview mirror. You can't. If you keep looking in the rearview mirror, you're gonna keep crashing your car. There's a reason why the rearview mirror is this big and the windshield is this big. That's a reason for it. Because all the rearview mirror does is allows you to see what you've passed and to prevent what you've passed from coming up on you again. That's all the rearview mirror is for. The windshield is your future. It's where you're going. It's where you're headed.
When you wake up in the morning, don't think about anything. Don't sit there and start thinking about rationalizing. Just get up and do what you're supposed to do. Just turn off your brain and go and execute, and just don't think. Because when you start thinking, you start making things up, and you start thinking about luxury and all those things that you could be doing instead.
Eggs.
Whatever. And so I just stop all that, just get up and just do what you're supposed to do. But from a day-to-day basis, I mean, you know, the fact that I've got friends, a lot of friends that aren't here, that don't get to live their lives anymore, that were killed, and I want to make sure that I'm taking advantage of every minute and every second that I have, and living a life that if they're watching me right now, they're thinking, all right, good, 𝐘𝐨𝐽 getting after it.
Come on, Timon. Anything we can do?
Not unless you can change the past.
You gotta put your past behind you. Look, kid, bad things happen, and you can't do anything about it, right?
Right.
Wrong! When the world turns its back on you, you turn your back on the world.
Life is not a perfection game. Life is an adjustment game. It's not about getting it right. It's about when you inevitably get it wrong, how you handle it, your ability to adapt.
What's the answer you would give them if they're like, how do I gain more confidence?
It starts with yourself, man. You gotta start diving into those things that you are afraid of. You don't gain confidence by going to a spot that makes you feel good. It's gonna be a false reality. And the second life gives you that challenge, all you wanna do is go back to what gave you confidence, is that happy spot. What gives you confidence, not being afraid, is overcoming the fear. I used to stutter severely bad. So right now, I don't know how many people are gonna watch this. You know what gives me confidence? Is knowing I no longer care if I sit here and start stuttering to you. That's what gives me confidence, is facing these things, overcoming them. And maybe not overcoming them every day, but facing them. And facing them and facing them. Pretty soon like this, you know what, man, this is where it's at. It's not in that comfort zone. It's in the discomfort zone is where my confidence is getting built.
Negativity, you can protect yourself from negativity. And that's what stops most people, negative thoughts. You know, I get tired sometimes. That's different from being negative, because I get mentally drained from my job at times. But to coach your mind from negativity, the way you can put a coating around your mind is with one simple thing: gratitude. Gratitude erases negativity. I'm gonna show you how this works. If you wake up in the morning and you start having negative thoughts, man, this ain't my day. I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. I'm tripping, I just don't feel myself. Every time you feel, in the middle of the day, if you feel yourself doing that, stop, just stop for a second. And start going over in your mind everything you have to be grateful for. Not everything you want, everything you already have. Because what you have is substantial.
You want to know why our grandparents stayed together? Because they weren't looking at ass cheeks all day on Instagram and refreshing it.
Don't take today off. Not today. Wait until tomorrow. Don't give in to the immediate gratification that is whispering in your ear. Shut that down. Do not listen to that little voice. Instead, go through the motions. Lift the weights, sprint the hill, work on the project, get out of bed. You need to get things done. When tomorrow comes, you still feel like you need to rest or you need to take a break, then okay. But the chances are you won't. You won't need that rest. Chances are you will realize that the desire to rest was just weakness. It was just the desire to take the path of least resistance, the downhill path, the easy path. And by simply going through the motions, you overcame that path. And you stayed on the righteous path, the disciplined path. You stayed on the war path, which is right where you know that you belong.
The majority of success that I have had have come on the back end of pain. Pain has pushed me to levels unknown for me at the time. All I know that was pain, but on the other side of it, all of a sudden, I became better in an area. So when we go through those situations in our lives, pain helps you develop those things that is going to take you to the next level of whatever it is. Believe that. I'm a living testimony of that. See, there's a purpose for my pain. As you've been listening all, and you probably read all this week, I suffered from depression. I went through it mightily my rookie year. I suffered through suicidal thoughts. And I wasn't just suffering through suicidal thoughts. I was actually planning the way that I would kill myself so that my wife would get the money. Not yet, not yet. But what that pain did for me, it increased my faith exponentially. I have grown leaps and bounds because of the things that I've gone through, and that's one of those things that I went through. And when I say went through, that means I came on the other side of it. So for those who are going through right now, there's hope. You do have hope. There is something on the other side of this. Don't get caught up where you are. Don't stay where you are. Keep moving. Keep pushing through.
You always have to be the person who roots for you before everyone else does. And it's usually a single clap in the auditorium for a very long period of time. It is a slow clap that's just you rooting for you. And that visual, I think, is one that you can kind of take, because it is, people struggle to do things alone. And the path of the exceptional person is one of an exception, which means that you are not with other people.
Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary.
Make your life your own movie. Actually, make it better than a movie. Make it better because it's real. It's real, so it is better. And you know what? Real comes with some downsides. Real comes with some darkness. But that's okay.
I feel like people are just trying to rush and trying to hurry up and do this and this, knowing that that's gonna take years.
They want to go viral on that.
They want to go viral so fast.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, like you have to wait. And I just say, play the back until it's time to play the front. And when it's your time to play the front, you go full throttle. Like today, like now is the time.